Hello everybody, TenseiTwister here with a video about figures. How novel. No, I'm not writing a novel about figures. It's just a whatever, never mind. Anyway, this weekend gone by was Summer WonFes 2014. You know, that event where figure manufacturers and hobbyists collide to make all of us fans cry in despair and joy into our wallets. Some of you might remember, about this time back in February, I made a video talking about stuff that I liked and things that I was looking forward to from that event back then. So I felt it only prudent to do a video for this one. Makes sense really, doesn't it? Bit more structure this time around though. As you probably noticed from the title, this is a top 5 list of the figures from the event that got me the most excited or just entertained me overall. Before I get onto that though, I'd just like to take a second to talk about the immense number of WonFes exclusive figures that goodsmile, Max Factory and Fat Company brought along with them to their wonderful Hobby Life for You 20 booth. This was going to be a top 10 list, but with six exclusives in total from these guys, I just had to cut it back so I could fit this all in. First of all, we've got a rare breed, a full-size Nendoroid double pack. Madoka Magica's Kyoko Sakura and Sayaka Miki come together in their school uniform and casual wear to round off the selection of non-transformed young ladies. I'm not counting Nagisa. Sue me. The two come designed to be posed together. They even come with a special double base. They look adorable, Sayaka especially. Personally, I feel that releasing all of the characters again in casual wear is a bit of a contrivance, but I can certainly appreciate the appeal. Whoa. Check out this WoClass Nendoroid! I've had to restrain myself from allowing me to enter the whirlpool that is Kantai Collection merchandise. But that didn't stop me from making sure that Starshoot ordered this one. Just look at her. Also, multicoloured LED lights in her head. She's like a living rave. Kantai is a big theme this year, with loads of reveals at the Winter show and even more from this one. To that end, we've also got Figma Kaga. My knowledge of these ladies doesn't really extend much further than their names, so that's pretty much all I have to say about this one. She looks nice. Levi fans, contain your ovaries. The second Max Factory exclusive is Figma Levi cleaning version. Badass! I don't really understand how something that struck me as just a castaway joke about someone who's such a hard ass exploded into something so massive. It's escalated to ridiculous levels. There's even a cleaning version of the bloody real action heroes Levi. Still, he is good for a chuckle, just don't expect him to actually clean your room. I'd buy him if he did. Whoa. Check out this WoClass Decachew from Fat Company. I know, I already made that joke, but you know as well as I do that that is comedy genius right there. Not much to say about this one. She's smushed, she's cute, and she's bloody huge! Look at that! If any of these have got you frothing at the mouths, screaming, "I need this in my life! Why, cruel arbiter of anime merchandise, would you release these exclusively at an event while I am condemned to my room?" Fear not, for these are all available from the goodsmile online shop, to be released later in the year. They are joined by Figma Satsubat's Knight from Ninja Slayer, who's a bit of a weird one. He wasn't available to buy from the event itself, but he's been set up for pre-order in the same time frame as the others. So, if you're a fan of the utterly ridiculous Ninja Slayer, or any of the others for that matter, act quickly! The link is in the description! Ah! Okay, so with the exclusives out of the way, let's move on to the meat of this video. TenseiTwister's Top 5 Summer WonFes Figure Reveals 2014! So the rules of this are they have to be figures that I'm either more than likely going to buy or just entertain me to the point where I couldn't not talk about them. They have to be 3D prototypes, coloured or non-coloured, it doesn't matter. They can't be garage kits. Mako. And I can't use the same figure more than once. So for example, I talked about the non-coloured prototype of Musashi in the last video. I can't then go on to talk about the coloured version of Musashi in this video, but that doesn't really matter for this one. That's more for later installments if there are any. Number 5! I don't normally buy Nendoroids. My few and far between Nendoroid purchases are usually reserved for waifu material. At first glance, the Nendoroid Solid Snake got nothing more from me than a that's kind of cool. But then, I saw this. The polygonal head swap that this guy comes bundled with is an absolute stroke of genius, and just goes to show that goodsmile company have an incredible sense of humour. The amount of people that are going mental about this since this got revealed meant I had no choice but to showcase him. It's just great. Number 4! Anyone who's seen the latest episode of the Oko Anime Club on Sword Art Online that I did with Bakashift, Bizarre Jelly 5 and the Peppered Ham, you'll know that I'm pretty 50-50 about the first series. It started well, but then kind of meandered and the arse just completely fell out of it in the second half. That being said, I'm kind of enjoying the start of the second season. And one reason why is Sinon. She's got an intriguing character and her design is great. And that is only amplified when she's converted into 3D Figma form. While her hair colour doesn't exactly lend itself to being an awesome mega sniper, her design is really, really nice. Figma are typically excellent, but there are some that do stand out among the crowd, and this is one example of that. Couple that with the upcoming re-release of the Figma Kirito that's sitting in my orders list, and, well, pretty hard to turn down. Number 3. I've cheated a little bit with this one, and will do so again at the end of this video. But there's no way that you could have one of these without the other, so I didn't really have a choice. I didn't think I would ever see the day that a high-end Kuro Shitsuji scale figure would slither into my radar. But with the recent airing of Kuro Shitsuji Book of Circus, Kotobukiya have done me the solidest of solids and brought out these two devilishly handsome prototypes of Sebastian and Ciel. Posed with a picture frame and a knight respectively, these two gentlemen are interesting to look at, have been expertly designed and are sure to add a level of high class to my collection when they inevitably arrive on my doorstep.
Buy us this instant!
Yes, my lord. Number 2! With Figma Matoi Ryuko's release looming ever closer, I for one have been grinding my teeth waiting in anticipation for the yin to her yang, and with no sign of a Figma Mako anytime soon, a travesty beyond words! It's no surprise that I am uber hype for Figma Kiryuin Satsuki. This sculpt looks fantastic. A little gappy at the top of the legs, but I'm sure that's something that will be sorted out when it comes to the release. Either way, she's bound to look fabulous, whether she's battling it out with Ryuko or standing on her own looking down at us pigs in clothing. Number 1! Was there any doubt about this one? Seriously? My number 1 reveal from Summer WonFes 2014 just has to be Max Factory's scale figure of Guts from Berserk. I can only assume that with the overwhelming success of their Figma line, they decided to step up their game even further. Not only does this figure capture the visceral essence that is Berserk, but they chose the Black Soldier Guts design, which is my personal favourite. Not only that, but the choice of this design means he pairs up very well with the other figure that they revealed, an uncoloured prototype of Femuto, the Wings of Darkness. My eyes popped when I saw these two. I mean, just wow. With the outstanding offerings from this event being, to me, few and far between, these two undeniably stole the entire show. With the Art of War Berserk scale figures being so elusive, not to mention ridiculously expensive, I can finally rest easy knowing that scales from one of my favourite series of all time could very well finally be within my grasp. One word. Yes! And there you have it, the top 5 scale figures from WonFes 2014 that really stood out to me. Like I said earlier, the list would have been a bit longer, but with so many exclusives, I had to make space to shove them in. Be sure to let me know what your favourite figures from the event were in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like to let me know. And heaven forbid, if you want to see more of my work, then feel free to subscribe. Yes! Join the legions of the damned! I'm on a sort of break-ish hiatus thing at the moment, but I generally do silly-ish figure reviews, and I should be back to doing regular stuff in about mid-August. Links to everything are in the description, and with that all said and done, I'm gonna go to bed. Later, losers!